Hi, this is Anthony and welcome back to my show. As always, before I begin, please click the subscribe button below. It really helps me out and it doesn't cost you anything. Thanks so much. Coin collecting is a popular hobby throughout the world, and so is collecting banknotes and even tokens, which are generally a substitute for coins when economic times are hard and officially issued government money is in short supply. But you don't know who actually ever handled the money. You could have an ancient coin that at one time had been handled by Julius Caesar or by Jesus or by Mohammed, but you wouldn't know it. That's what I find fascinating about collectible financial paper, things like old checks and old stock and bond certificates. Depending on what type of document it is, there's usually a date on it when it was issued, sometimes a date when it was canceled, and often the owner's name or the payee's name and the payer's name. In many countries, governments have used special taxes on financial documents to raise money, and often this is represented by revenue stamps, either affixed like postage stamps, or stamped or embossed in ink on them. I'll make a more in-depth video on the subject, but today I wanted to look at an exciting stock certificate and demonstrate what the value that small differences might make. So here's the stock certificate that represents equity in an interesting company. Back before credit cards and email and PayPal, people had to use actual banknotes to transact commerce and put actual postage stamps on postcards or envelopes to mail messages to people. So nearly every country and colony throughout the world had to have postage stamps printed and banknotes printed for use by their citizens. Often individual governments did not have the resources and abilities to manufacture their own items, so they contracted with foreign printers, in particular British and American printing firms. So the American Banknote Company was one of the largest printers of banknotes, especially for Latin America, as well as Latin American stamps and many stock and bond certificates. This is a stock certificate, of course, printed by them, but for equity in that particular company. Now, while this company is an interesting one among stock certificate collectors, it's not necessarily a highly collectible one. Most collectors like to collect mining certificates, in particular gold mines, as well as railroads. In fact, I've sold a number of these certificates and they only go for a couple dollars a piece generally. I have some examples here that have revenue stamps, which I've mentioned before, affixed to the back. In this case, 2 federal ones and 2 state revenue stamps. Sometimes these can add a little value to the certificate, but not always. So here's a third example of the same type of certificate from that company. But what makes this one more valuable? Well, you look at the name of the owner and you see that it was Alan W. Dulles, and it was issued in 1941. When you look at a certificate and you don't know the name, Google it. You may come up with an interesting person. A lot of times it's just a local businessman who has a little bit of information on the internet, but they're not really famous. Often if it's made out to a woman, especially a long time ago, then in many cases she was a young unmarried heiress to a fortune. And of course most stock certificates are just stamped with the name of the broker that held the certificate. Most likely if you wanted to invest in a company, you called your broker and said, buy me 100 shares of this company. They buy 100 shares and they hold on to the stock certificate. So when you sell it, they can mail it in for you. That's what we saw on the second certificate shown. When a broker's name is on the certificate, that's called a street name. Anyway, back to Dulles. Who was he? Alan Welsh Dulles, 1893 to 1969, was the first civilian director of Central Intelligence and its longest-serving director to date. As head of the Central Intelligence Agency during the Cold War, he oversaw the 1953 Iranian coup d'etat, the 1954 Guatemalan coup d'etat, the Lockheed U-2 aircraft program, the Project MKUltra mind control program, and the Bay of Pigs invasion. He was fired by John F. Kennedy over the latter fiasco. Dulles was one of the members of the Warren Commission investigating the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Between his stints of government service, Dulles was a corporate lawyer and partner at Sullivan Cromwell. His older brother, John Foster Dulles, was the Secretary of State during the Eisenhower Administration and is the namesake of Dulles International Airport. Some of this information is from Wikipedia. Be sure to look at the article on him and his brother for a lot more interesting information about his role, especially while stationed in Switzerland during World War II. As far as this stock certificate is concerned, it was purchased by Dulles soon before going to his OSS assignment in Switzerland, and I've had about a dozen of these, all of which I've sold. They sold for roughly $15 to $25. The point is, be sure to always look at both sides of documents and figure out who the people are connected to it to see if there's any greater historical significance to them. An interesting book on the two brothers is called The Brothers, John Foster Dulles, Alan Dulles, and Their Secret World War by Stephen Kinzer. As I've said, I don't have any more of these for sale on eBay, but I do have lots of other interesting items. You can find my items on eBay with my username stock_tycoon. Okay, that's enough for today. Hopefully by now you've subscribed to this channel and liked the video. I would love it if you've looked at my other videos. Hopefully click the like button on those and leave a comment, even a short one. All those things really help me out in building a following. Since this channel is not yet monetized, if you want to help me out, I sell small collectibles on eBay. Things like old stock and bond certificates, coins and banknotes, stamps and postal items and books, along with other things such as Masonic items. If you're interested in buying silver coins as collectibles or investments, I usually have some listed. If you're interested in investing in gold or silver as a commodity, I have a few YouTube videos that explain how you can easily do that, plus some of the pitfalls of doing so. I'm on Instagram at AnthonyRR Mills. You can follow me there. Thanks for watching and good luck in investing.